And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Weighing In podcast. We just had the UFC 316 from New Jersey with their stupid rules. We'll talk about things that occurred. There was a couple of screw-ups in there, but we'll talk about it. My man, how you feeling? I know you were on the lacrosse fields the entire day. Are you burned out?
Yeah, it was friggin' hot today. It was like 93 degrees, but the humidity was so sticky. It was like, we only get a couple days of humidity here.
Really?
I know where you're at. You get a lot of humidity.
Oh, shit.
Austin gets a lot, but like we're kind of in that little like belt zone that doesn't get a lot.
Vacuum sealed area.
Yeah, we get like an area, like we get like a couple days. We'll get like say 2 or 3 days, but lately because of the overcast, it's been trapping it all in. But when we have sunny skies, man, we don't get it. But today was like sunny skies, so then sometimes it didn't feel humid, and then when the cloud cover came in, it was like it just felt like a weight on my shoulders. I was like, this is horrid. But yeah, we had to get up at 5 a.m. Get the kids up, get them dressed, get them ready. Kellen had lacrosse. It's an hour and a half away. 3 games today. One at 9 a.m., one at like at noon, and then one at like 2:30 or 3. But then we stayed and watched one of his old team that he played with, the 32s. We stayed and watched them play because they had a game right after. And then it was like, okay, then by the time we got back with traffic, we got the kids fed. I'm like, damn, fuck.
Mine started off really good, man. As far as I had, my day started off a little bit sunny, got really hot. And so I'm doing all kinds of work. And then all of a sudden, giant fucking storm comes in, drops 2 inches of rain within 45 minutes. Right. But that's when the humidity just goes, obliterates everything. Then I go to sit down to watch the UFC, turn it on, it's on, and the weather comes back and my freaking internet goes down. I was not a happy man, but then finally got it back.
Yeah, I had a problem with my ESPN app all night.
Oh,
all night. And it wasn't anything where it would shut off. It would just like get glitchy. Yeah. Then it would stop for a second and then it would play.
Well, mine shut off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple of times.
It was not good.
You remember the one time I couldn't get it to go at all? I was getting
Oh, yeah. You could. Well, you could. That was you were trying to order it. They wouldn't even let you order it.
Wouldn't let me order it. Kept telling me, nope, can't order from this device. I'm like, well,
I think the UFC knew that you were trying to watch, and they said, no, fuck you.
I try to buy it from my phone because sometimes, like, obviously, I have my phone hooked up to my Wi-Fi. I can buy it from my phone, and then I can just watch it on my TV, or I can buy it on my phone and watch it on my iPad, whatever it is, right? No, I couldn't even buy it. I was so mad. I'm like, I can't even fucking buy the thing. I was calling you. We were FaceTiming. You had the phone facing
I was holding the phone so you could watch the fight.
I was like,
that's what a real friend does. Right, George?
Like, John, just film it yourself, dude. I'm not filming tonight. John just didn't want to film by himself, so he was making the sacrifice. Guys, look at all that gray hair right there. Look at all that.
Old.
I love it, though. I love it. Distinguished look. They call it the
Is that what that is? Distinguished? You know what I call it? Old.
Yeah. Whatever.
Dude,
we all have different names.
You're probably, biologically, about as old as me. Yep.
No.
Yeah, you're old.
But I'm not retarded like you.
Dude, yeah. Why all of a sudden do you have to be like a New Yorker retarded?
Retarded. Isn't that how like people from Boston say it?
Yeah. Hey, he's a fucking retard.
Fucking retard. Yeah. You know what's funny is we have some people from New York that live in our community here in Texas.
Yeah.
They're fucking great, John. I think I'm from California. We don't talk like that. We don't really like when people from California hang out with people from New York. It's like you're friends, but like you don't hang out a lot because you can only handle so much to each other. But man, I find myself gravitating towards them now because it makes me feel so fucking. They're so fun to be around.
Oh, they're hysterical,
hilarious.
Yep, they're great.
Hey guys, if you guys are joining us already and check out the link down below in the descriptions. Drink Element. Man, the kids, we set up some packages, gave them to all the kids today that were playing, and it was hot. It was humid. Parents were loving it. You know what I tried it today? John, if you take watermelon, cut it up in little pieces.
Oh, Real watermelon. Okay.
Yeah. And then you kind of squeeze a little bit of lime or lemon on your watermelon, and you take the lemonade salt and put it on top. Oh, holy shit, it's good, John.
Have you discovered something? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. What I did was I made like a quarter portion of lemonade and then filled it with water. And then I took lemonade, like lemons, and I cut it. And I also put a little bit of, what's it called? I cut like little sheets of watermelon, put that all in there, topped it with some mint. Great drink. I'm figuring it out, man. I'm figuring it out.
I made a new Element fan tonight. I had a guy that's like the biggest farmer in our area.
Nice.
He does like about 1,000 head of cattle and everything.
Jeez.
Pat Watson, great guy, loves fights. So I said, come on over, man. So I said, what do you want to drink? He goes, I don't care anything you have. I said, well, dude, I got everything. What do you want? You want to talked him into an Element? All of a sudden he goes, I like this stuff. I mean, he's a fan. Now he's stealing elements from me.
That's all right.
It's all good. It's a new buyer.
You can give him the link.
Yeah, I just gave him the
text him the
cans.
link. Yeah, I know you did. I know you did.
Whether you're an Olympic athlete, professional hockey player, MMA world champion, or just an active kid, Element helps anyone stay hydrated. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. Get your free sample pack with any Element drink mix purchase through link in bio. Also try the new Element Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Roll, train, ride, or play, but stay hydrated and stay salty.
Look, let's go ahead and get right into the fights. I know we were just bantering back and forth over this stuff, but John, Merab Dvalishvili.
Come on.
Merab versus Sean
No,
O'Malley.
you got to say it. Like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Dvalishvili. Dvalishvili.
You're close.
It's actually Wheelie.
Dvalishvili.
It's Wheelie, to be
It's
honest.
Dvalishvili.
It's Wheelie.
No, it's
WH.
Dvalishvili. I've talked to him. It's Dvalishvili.
No.
Merab Dvalishvili.
All right. You can let him say it.
Just because you sound like Chael saying the name.
What was your take on the fight? Did you see what you wanted to see from Sean O'Malley to let you know that the first fight, it went that way because of the hip? Did you get any takeaways from the first fight to this fight? And was it what you expected?
Well, it was what I expected because I had picked Merab to win, but I thought that Sean O'Malley would use that front teep kick much more, and he didn't, and I was surprised by it because he had success, and he actually hurt Merab in the first fight. But, I thought his movement looked good, so he did look good as far as, but, it is, and I thought Joe Rogan brought it up well, it's hard to explain what it's like fighting someone that is nonstop, that doesn't give you that break, doesn't give you that second to breathe, to take that one breath that's going to help you calm down. All those things that are part of normal fighting, Merab takes it away. He is so in your face, pressure, going after you nonstop that he puts he puts you in a cardiovascular deficit from the first round, and then one that just continues to build. Frank Shamrock used to be a guy that I thought, used cardio well against people. Did it long ago against Tito Ortiz when they first fought the first time at UFC 22, and really showed what cardiovascular conditioning can do. Well, Frank has met his match because even Frank couldn't have the damn pace that Merab has. It's absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it.
Yeah, I would agree. Merab looked fantastic. He did everything he was supposed to do.
Yep.
I was very impressed with Sean as well.
Yeah.
I want to give Sean credit because I think Sean came out. He was imposing his will in the first round. He won majority of the first round. He just lost one takedown. He was able to hop back up. Then he lost with 45 or 50 seconds left.
About a minute.
He lost. Yeah. He lost the second takedown, but he also took some big elbows from the bottom position.
Yep.
And I gave the first round to Merab.
Yes.
Based on that. I thought Sean had moments where he hit Merab with a couple clean shots, but nothing that really was like, oh, wow, look at that shot.
Yeah.
They just landed good. They landed well and so on. But Merab had more of the damaging shots from the top position in the ground and pound when he got the takedown with the 45 seconds to 50 seconds or minute left.
Yep.
And so I gave the first round to Merab. Where I looked at it with Sean is that Sean came out aggressively in the first, came out, pushed Merab into the back foot, but then if you're fighting Merab, I think the blueprint's been kind of laid. He does a lot of movement. He does a lot of energy. He's making you work, but not really. He's okay fighting off of his back foot. He's worse off of his back foot versus when he's good going forward. That pressure and the winging shots, you've got to be very concerned about the winging shots because he's got power, but then those lead right into his wrestling. He is somebody, though, that he's okay giving up the first 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Yeah. He just knows that once I get a takedown, because he's not doing much in that first 3 minutes. He's like a couple shots here, a couple shots there. As long as you don't land something clean, I'm good. As soon as I get that takedown, which he will eventually get to it. He tries to win that last 2 minutes of the round, that last minute and a half of the round. Gets the top position, works his way into the guard, starts letting the elbows go, starts letting whatever it is. I mean, and that's exactly kind of how the blueprint was for round 2 as well. Yeah. I actually gave second round to Sean O'Malley. It was close, and if it went to Merab, it went to Merab. Yeah. I gave it to Sean. I would like to see the scorecards.
I thought it was the same thing, exactly what you're saying. He was winning, not by a lot, but he was winning the round, I thought.
Yeah.
And landing the cleaner shots until the latter part of the round, and Merab takes over, and he's landing shots that are just, they're making up for what occurred, and giving a little bit to say, yeah, Sean O'Malley's winning the round, and he just takes it away from it. He erases it. But it was close, I admit. But I thought after looking at the whole thing, it was going to be 3-0.
So
yeah.
So two judges had it 2 rounds to Merab, and then one judge had it first round Merab, second round O'Malley.
Okay. Which judge was that? Does it say?
It says Eric Cologne.
Yeah, I knew it would. I knew it would.
Fucking Eric.
No, it's good.
No, I like I said, even when having conversations with people, that they were like, yeah, I could see it going either way. Round 2. Neither one really dominated the round.
No, and that's why you can sit there and say Eric Cologne gave it to O'Malley. Okay, you got to look and say from the vantage point that he had, he probably saw the things that Sean did that were better. Wasn't able to see the same in respect with Merab, while the other two were able to see Merab doing it. So that's why they sit in 3 different places, and sometimes you're going to get a different round. That's just the way it is.
And then, in round 3, was it round 3? Yeah, round 3. Yeah. Just the control right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Just to take down.
Round 3 was the start of, you could really see O'Malley was getting tired. He was having some difficulties as far as his energy level just was starting to wane. Mm-hmm. And I thought the way that, Merab, because many times, the way that he locked on, just having the neck, it's hard to control just with the neck. Yeah, it can be a crank, but, O'Malley did the right thing and going to his back. But you take a look and you saw where Merab's arm underneath and arm on top with all of his weight pushing down on the throat, man. And that was tight at the end. That north-south was nasty.
John, I think Sean O'Malley should have taken some time and listened to what Corey Sandhagen said after he had fought Umar Nurmagomedov. And he said, I moved so much in the first 3 rounds, I had no energy for rounds 4 and 5.
You got to be selective in that movement.
That's what separates the difference between someone who becomes champion and who doesn't become champion. In this situation, he came out, he had fought so hard in the first round of keeping his distance, keeping his body away. When every time Merab tried to get to the clinch, he was able to use his forearms, kind of push him away. But as the fight went on, it was very difficult to do that because he started getting a little bit tired. He started slowing down, one step behind. Then that led to Merab getting in deeper on the takedowns, the skip, the scoop, and the lift. I was trying to say 2 words at once.
Yeah, skip and
the lift and the put down. All of that. Like you could tell that he was getting fatigued in the 3rd round. And now I look at Sean, I go, you obviously proved to me that the first fight, I don't want to say it was a fluke because Merab fought a great fight, but the injury had a lot to do with it because your lateral movement was fantastic. His striking, his speed, all of those things were better. Mm-hmm. I did expect, like you said, for him to do more push kicks. I expected push kicks to the face. I expected push kicks to the body. I expected more of that. He threw a lot of spinning kicks in the first round. I was like, what are you doing? Huh? It's okay to throw one, but you got to set it up more. And it wasn't there. So I think he threw 2 in the first round. I think he threw 1 in the second. It just wasn't there. And, and that's a lot of energy wasted, especially if you're someone has to be moving a lot throughout the fight. But Sean, I thought Sean looked great. Just got caught. I mean, I don't want to say he just got caught. He got set up. He got tired a little bit. That front choke, the power of Merab, the vice grip that he had around that, it was more of a neck crank. And then when he flopped over to his back to escape, he kind of just sat and sagged into it. Very nicely done. Nothing you could do. He got stuck in that position. And then with somebody like Merab, you could tell he just has that squeeze power.
He's a little ball of muscle, man.
Yeah.
Take a look at him,
man. Fucking reminds me of Justin Wilcox. He does. His body frame, the way he walks, the way his barrel chested, small waist. Fucking jealous. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Those guys are they're shredded like year-round.
If I told you, all right, Josh, you can have Merab's body, but you got to have his face. You look at me and go, fuck you.
Oh, fuck no. I'd rather they fucking fat than be fucking. I like Merab, bro, but
oh, he's awesome.
Then when he had a shaved head, he was even uglier. Yeah, you can like him. I look, John. Let's not pretend like he doesn't know he's ugly. He knows.
He knows, huh?
He knows. His nose is fucking like 3 different ways. He's never had it fixed.
I love that.
I'm surprised he's got great cardio.
Don't you remember?
Fucking breathe through that thing.
Don't you remember the old cartoons where the bully or the bad guy would have this nose that would go in 3 different directions? Kind of. He's got that nose. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
Okay, so let's talk about the future. Obviously, Merab's going to be fighting Corey Sandhagen, which I think is a great lead-in. This was a great lead-in fight for him because now you're fighting a very similar opponent.
I agree.
Someone who's a striker, someone who is not as adequate in the wrestling department as you, and in terms of jiu-jitsu, Corey's very good off the back. But it's like Merab's still like probably the better of the two in terms of the grappling jiu-jitsu area. The wrestling for sure. But Corey, I think, learned a lot from the Umar fight. I think he's going to give Merab some problems. I thought Sean was going to give Merab a lot more problems too today. Even though he did have some success, it wasn't enough to win the rounds. But Corey is a very similar fighter, just with less movement and a little bit more trickiness.
Does things a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different as far as both are slick in their stand-up, but Corey does it in a different fashion. Corey is a lot more dangerous in my mind with the knees up the middle. He throws those a lot more, which is something that Merab's always going to have to be dealing with and always going to have to be wary of when someone does that, because when you're coming in, to get into the clinch or to get that takedown, you got to be careful of where your chin goes and your head goes with a guy that can throw knees like Corey Sandhagen. But it obviously should be Corey Sandhagen. That's the right fight. I love the fact that Merab called him out, and said, hey, I love this guy, all this stuff. It's great. We want to fight him. That's the way it should be. Merab is, I love champions that don't try to duck anyone. Don't try to sit there and dog someone because they know that that's a hard fight for him. Just goes and says, who's next? That's Merab, and you got to love him.
Yeah, you can't be mad at that. So you got him fighting him, and then now where do you go with Sean O'Malley right now?
Well, you got to figure Sean O'Malley's going to drop down, somewhere in the area. I would say if, where Corey Sandhagen's at, and he'll go up. So he'll be down towards 4, maybe 5. He might go below Song Yadong.
Really?
Yeah. Come on, be honest. Okay. What fights has he had? And what's the
He's got a win over Peter Yan, so you're going to put him past Peter Yan?
Yeah, he had a win against Peter Yan. When?
3 fights ago.
That's a long time ago.
3 fights ago?
No, not 3 fights.
I think it was 3 fights ago. This is his 4th fight. It'd be 4 fights ago. 2 against the same guy. I think he fought Peter, then he fought.
He fought
Cheeto. That's right. In between.
he fought Cheeto Vera.
Yeah.
Then lost to Merab.
Yeah. I mean,
he's lost to Merab twice in a row now.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, so then you have Peter and Umar. Corey's going to jump over all of them. Song Yadong versus somebody.
Yeah.
It's got to have to be in that mix, though. So there's going to be some fun fights. But then what do you go for?
I think Song Yadong needs to go. Let's be honest. Mario Bautista. Great fight. We'll talk about his fight and what he did.
Fighting backwards?
What?
I mean, Mario Bautista's number 10. Song Yadong's number 5.
I know. I'm not saying that's where Song wants to be, but he's kind of stuck. Let's be honest.
Can I suggest something? I would say
whatever you want.
Yeah, I would say Peter Yan versus Song Yadong.
Okay.
And Umar versus Sean O'Malley.
Is Umar's hand back?
Yeah, he's back. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back. And then Bautista, I think you work him all the way up to probably like someone like a Cheeto. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Give him Cheeto. Cheeto's number 7. Batista's at 10. Got to win. May leapfrog Henry Cejudo now after the win over Patchy Mix. Patchy not being ranked kind of, doesn't help the cause.
Doesn't help the cause. Exactly.
Yeah. But you beat another promotions champion.
But the UFC's matchmakers understand.
Oh yeah.
What a good performance it was.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll talk more about that as it gets closer.
Yeah.
The co-main event, you got Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Peña.
There was a whole lot of talk before it.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much as far as an answer for it. Let's be honest, Juliana Peña offensively didn't have a lot.
No.
She wasn't, I know the UFC's commentator said something about her significant strikes. It's like, really? She hasn't landed shit. Very few things that she landed. And you take a look at, how the fight was going. You can look at when she was on the ground, she kicked up. The point taken was the right thing to do by Ribeiro, but it was the wrong thing to put him in a standing position. You had a bottom fighter foul the person on top. That means the bottom fighter goes back to being on the bottom. They don't get out of a position by fouling. What the fuck is wrong with people?
John.
How hard is it to figure out, dude? You did one thing perfect. You took the point. That was the right thing to do. You don't have to give a hard warning. She kicked her twice.
Cut him some slack. He doesn't speak English. Which he does. Yeah, I'm just busting balls. Him and I were supposed to fight a couple times and do jiu-jitsu match against each other. Yeah. Just never came about. But he's a great guy, man.
He
super friendly, super nice guy. Big fight. Huge fight for him.
Okay.
I mean, John, look, at least he did the one thing. At least he did the main thing right, was take a point. I was going to ask you, do you think he should have taken a point?
Absolutely. Okay. She got kicked to the face
twice
while on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely, he should have taken.
But she didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's exactly what she told him. I looked at her and said the same thing I said to every fighter. Yeah, my kids lie to me too.
That's fucked up. Oh, geez. I mean, I guess I from the upward angle that I saw it from, I thought that her knees were up. I thought she postured up and pinched the thighs with her thigh, pinched the legs with her thighs. But then when I saw the replay, I still couldn't see, but it just looked like more of her knees were down. But still,
no, she was down.
Yeah, she didn't hold back either. She was like, "Yo, get off me." She's like, "Everybody was kung fu fighting." Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the two best blows landed by Juliana Peña for the fight. So
Oh, that was nasty.
They were.
And when she got a hold of that Kimura, holy
Oh.
shit. It was on quick.
It was, and it was moving quick.
Yeah.
Because many times you'll see people start to struggle with that and start to. It did remind me of Joe Rogan brought it up. Frank Mir against Nogueira, and they got into a battle, and Nogueira's arm got caught by Mir.
Yeah,
I was right there, and the thing snapped. And Joe said the right thing in that Kimura lock. People are looking at it. It's a shoulder lock, yes.
No, it's
but the humerus gets a spiral fracture from that.
Is that what that bone's called?
That's what that bone is called.
Yeah,
and,
that was if you
nasty.
recall, it was the Renzo Gracie and Sakuraba, same thing.
No, totally different.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because his elbow dislocated.
Oh,
There's
got
a
it.
difference,
Got it. Still disgusting as.
Still
Anytime
disgusting
you
to look
see
at.
something that's not supposed to move in the way that it's supposed to, like
is
like
moving in a direction that it's not supposed to.
Yeah, you're just like, what the like? This is not. It like almost makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
But spit it out,
Dude. If you go back and you remember Habib when he fought Michael Johnson, and he put a beating on Michael throughout that fight, but the end was a Kimura, and it was Michael Johnson was not going to tap, and I was thinking, I'm going to watch your arm break. Damn it. You hate to have it happen, but we tell the fighters, hey, you get caught in this, I'll let you work your way out of it. Do not let it get to the point that it breaks. I'm going to stop your fight. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
He tapped, thank God. But I was thinking, oh, it's going to break.
What is so go back? I'm going to go all the way back to Hermes Franca and Rich Crunkleton.
Yeah.
Should that fight have been stopped?
Yes.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
Who was the ref for that? Larry Landless?
No, it was not. It was he's from Florida. God dang it. He was a kickboxer. God damn it. I just lost my name for him, but he was
you mean you lost his name?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I can tell you all about him. He played football for the Raiders.
Oh.
He was a kickboxer. He actually fought in what was called World Combat, which was when people first saw Renzo Gracie because he ended up winning the tournament.
With Oleg Satarov.
Do you recall Eric Paulson
in
that getting his hair pulled?
Yeah.
He was the guy doing the hair pull.
Oh, shut up. Shut your front door.
Hold it in by the I can't think of his fucking name.
Yeah.
But he's a referee down in Florida. Yeah.
Florida.
He had no idea that the arm was dislocated.
Oh man, when it spins the way it's not supposed to spin,
he had no idea.
Probably a good indicator.
Yeah,
like when you see this, when you see the skin like flap over each other.
Oh yeah. when you see
you're folding leather.
When you see an elbow skin that is on an athlete looking like it belongs on a 500-pound, person, yeah, it's bad.
I mean, it looked like foreskin.
Yeah. Something like that.
Foreskin on an elephant.
Well, we were talking about that earlier. So.
Yeah. Okay, but Juliana Peña, where's she go from here? Obviously, we know that Kayla's going to be fighting Amanda Nunes. But where's Juliana Peña go from here?
It really depends on what she wants. I look at Juliana and I think she is a good fighter, but I've always thought that she was small for the bantamweights. I would love to see Juliana go to 125. And you could take a look at, just the difference in size that when she fought Amanda, even when she was fighting Raquel's not that big of a frame. She's got muscle on her, but not that big of a frame. So that one's hard to do. But look at her against Kayla. I mean, they look like they're in completely different weight classes.
Yeah.
And I think at 125, she would do really well. At 135, I look and I go, all right, who is there for you to fight at that? Is it going to be someone that's, in the top right there with, championship aspirations? I don't think so. I don't think that, you could look and say she could fight, Vieira. What does that do for her? Not much. She could fight Norma Dumont. What does that do for her? I don't know if that does much. It's weird the way that, the bantamweight division in the women's has gone. It was such an elite for so long, and it's not elite right now. There's very few people just at the top. And you look down the list, and most people go, I haven't even seen that person fight. I haven't even heard of that person.
John, would you say that's just kind of where the sport of MMA is right now?
No, not. Do you really think so? Because I think if you look at, the straw weights or even the flyweights, there's some people within that grouping that you go, yeah, that would be a great fight. Yeah, that would be a great fight.
But my thing is, like, we've gotten rid of 145.
Yeah.
We're like 135 is a very good division, but it's not what it used to be.
Not even close.
It was the pillar of the females MMA.
Yeah.
And 125 is okay, but it's still kind of, I would say 115 is probably the best weight class.
I would say you're probably right.
I mean, normally I am, but
but you could also look and say, I could point out that a lot of 115ers that are going up to 125. You've got Macy Barber Blanchfield, who should have fought but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You got Rose Namajunas, who was a strawweight, who's up there. She's looking good and doing well there. You got Mano, who's she just lost, but she's up there. Silva is fun to watch. These are all 125ers. And then if you look outside of it, the big name outside of it is Dakota Ditcheva, and she's a powerhouse. She's fun to watch, 125er. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm kind of thinking that the 125ers are kind of taking over.
We'll see. I would like to see the UFC bring over Dakota Ditcheva.
Oh yeah,
that'd be nice. I make some sort of trade.
They would love to.
I mean, the best thing to do would be for them to make trades. Like this is the opportunity, like, to try and pick and choose their fighters. And if I was the PFL, I'd be calling them up, going, "Hey, like, I've got fighters that we just can't fund anymore. Can I trade you?
Yeah,
give me somebody that you guys don't want, and I'll give you somebody that we want to keep, but we just can't financially keep them. Give us somebody we can replace them with. I mean, and do the best you can to fight them as much as you possibly can."
Yeah.
I don't know who the UFC be willing to give up, and I mean, and Patricio and Patchy not winning makes it a harder argument to continue on with if you're the PFL. The only shining light of all this is that Kayla Harrison's just won the title. She's from the PFL, and I think it's going to come down to how well Aaron Pico does. It really is, John, because it's hard for. I was having a conversation with someone tonight too, going, it's hard for us, not just us, but people to be like, "Hey, these fighters they're really good." They are. Yaroslav Amosov is fantastic. Aaron Pico is a fantastic fighter. It's just hard to keep saying that if the guys that have come over are not having success. Patchy,
Hold on. First off, Patchy did not look good, did not fight well, did not fight smart.
Yeah.
And this is what happens many times when you finally step into that cage. It's a different story.
Yeah.
And it's not so much you're fighting the opponent, you're fighting everything. And
no, I definitely can make a strong case for all of that. 100% I can, just like you did.
But there, you can also go, and I can go with people. I can name off quite a few people that are fighting in the UFC right now that fought in Bellator that are doing really well. Okay. So, the big names right now coming over from the PFL, they're not winning, but Joaquin Buckley, has he had a pretty good UFC run?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, these guys are out there. Joaquin Buckley is going to be headlining the Atlanta card, right, against Kamaru Usman. And if he gets a win against Kamaru, what's going to happen?
He's probably next after that.
Yeah, he probably is.
Well, it depends. They got chaos at the top of the Shavkat kind of waiting. Sean Brady kind of in that position. Bilal and Ian Gary are scheduled to fight it in Madison Square Garden.
I could definitely see Buckley and Gary.
Yeah. Well, no, it's going to be Bilal and Gary.
I would love to see Buckley and Gary because Buckley has already called him out, done things and said stuff. So
yeah,
but he has an opponent to beat.
That weight class is shaking out to be a fun weight class. I think Buckley is a shot in the arm for that weight class.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just it's tough when you have someone come into an organization on the first fight. Doesn't mean that they can't win. RDR did, but it's not easy. And it's all about your, fight maturity and what you're able to control.
Yeah, well, we skipped over the Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pyfer fight. We'll go back to that after we talk this conversation. We'll talk the Bautista mix right now, since we're already in this conversation. The mix situation is he got signed to the UFC. Literally, like they had someone fall off. They're like, hey, you want to fight Bautista? And one of the number one things that Dana White cares about is, I just signed you from another organization. And if I call you on a short notice, it's just like 3 or 4 weeks away.
Yeah.
Take that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Show me you want to be here.
Yeah.
And
you can't blame Dana.
No, I can't blame Dana. And I'm not blaming Patchy Mix either.
Okay.
But it was a little ill-advised. Like it was kind of like with the Patricio thing. Like you come in, you guys take fights on short notice, and you say, hey, like we want to be here. You're so excited to be here, and then you guys lose. It's very much the Eddie Alvarez situation. Eddie had time. I believe Eddie had time to train, but like you took the Cowboys Cerrone fight, you lost, and then you came on and you made a run and won a title. Hopefully that happens for both these guys. Whether it's Patricio, whether it's Mix, whether it's Pico, whatever it is. But Kayla came in, dominant performances. Now she's the UFC champ. And so now from then on, she's going to fight Amanda Nunes. But there's other fighters that can come over, like Yaroslav Amosov. I want to see that fighter come over. But if you're coming over, you've got to win. The guys that are coming over have got to win. So I don't know, John. I thought it was ill-advised for him to take the fight on short notice. But when Dana White calls or when Hunter Campbell calls and they say, hey, we have this fight, it's Mario Bautista, and tailor-made for you. To me, this was a tailor-made fight for him.
I thought that, looking at matchups and stuff, this one was well designed for him based upon the fact that Mario likes to wrestle and take people down. Mm-hmm. Mario fought smart. One of the things we talked about on the last, going over this card was, I said, look at Mario's got good people around him. John Crouch, Benson Henderson, they understand fighting.
Yep.
They are going to have a very good game plan for Mario, and they did.
Yeah.
And he followed it. And when you have a fighter that follows a game plan that has been put together for you against a specific individual for reasons, and you follow it, you got a good chance of winning. It's when you break from following it and you decide, I'm going to do something on my own because this is how I fight. Mm-hmm. You can't do it.
No.
And he didn't. I thought he fought. I got to give Mario huge credit in that fight for the way that he fought, how smart he was. And even when he was getting popped at times, he collected himself and went back to doing what he was supposed to do. Great win.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking. As I was talking with people as the fight was going on, I was like, man, he's doing everything he's supposed to do.
Yep.
Stick, move, keeping the lateral movement. He was switching stances. He went from straight rights to straight lefts. He was coming around with the right hook. And when he switched to a southpaw stance, throwing the straight left, coming down the pipe. If I'm Patchy Mix, though, whoever your striking coach is.
Okay.
Am I right?
No, you're right. Dude,
John, he didn't move his head at all.
His head was on the center line the entire time, dude.
They didn't move. And as the coach, got to make those adjustments, man. Oh, yeah. Give me some rolls. Roll your shoulders a little bit. Do whatever it is, but give me something. And
just a touch. Move.
Yeah.
Dip that head both ways.
If you have a guy with those kind of limbs, that long and lanky limbs, why are we not using the push kick more? Up to the face.
Worked well when he did it.
What's going to happen? Is it he's going to catch it and take me down? Okay. Ooh. It's a lot better than me trying to shoot raw dog for a takedown and not get anywhere near it.
Yep.
And so I didn't see he only shot one takedown the whole fight.
15 minutes, one takedown attempt, and it was weak.
And if I go back that third round, a lot of what he did, it was driving me crazy, was because I saw the same frustration in the Juan Archuleta fight. Hands out, telling him to come on. Why am I coming forward? I'm winning. I just won 2 rounds. I don't need to come forward.
Yeah, no.
You need to get me.
Yep.
And it just, I was DMing with Patchy just this week, and I was like, "Hey man, best of luck. I'm rooting for you. I want you to get this win. You know, this and that." And just if I'm Patchy, I'm thinking like I need to find a new striking coach, stand-up coach, someone that has me work my head offline, somebody who is working with me on either push kicks, body kicks, whatever it is, something that will make a fighter naturally grab the leg and take me down. Because then I can go to my triangles, then I can go to my sweeps, then I can go to all, like, if people go back to Nino Shremby, you remember him?
Yeah, Nino Shremby.
Fucking great jiu-jitsu guy.
Unbelievable jiu-jitsu.
Disgusting stand-up.
Yeah.
It was horrible. What he would do when he fought in Pride is he would just throw a ton of head kicks. And then he would, as soon as he threw it, he would just throw himself to his back and hoping that they would catch it, hoping that they would like follow him into his guard. And almost most of the time, it worked until people started realizing what he was doing. Then they stopped. They were like, okay, just block and stay up top. Most of them would like lean into it. Then he would kind of like fall and they would like try to like knock him out. He'd pull him into their guard. He'd sweep them. He'd get on top, arm bar him, whatever it was.
Yep.
Like if you're gonna be just a dominant grappler for the sport of MMA, you've got to find other ways and other avenues to get the fight to the ground. And Patchy has all the skills, all the talent. But tonight, John, he couldn't miss a punch. He was like, his head was there to be hit. And I'm like, man, if I'm the coach, I'm yelling, move your head offline. Okay, give me some shoulder rolls, feints, whatever it is. Or let's start diving Imanari's. Let's do something to change the tempo of this game. This fight, because it wasn't working tonight.
I agree.
Yeah. I got a lot of love for him, man. Joe Pyfer, man, versus Kelvin Gastelum.
Dude, no matter what anyone wants to say, first off, Pyfer hits like a truck.
Yeah.
And Kelvin Gastelum demonstrates why I say he's my Roberto Duran of MMA. Tough as hell, took some big shots, got put on his ass, got up every time, came back, and in the third round, he was going after it, man. It's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones you look at, and I think Pyfer understands, he was saying he was going to get rid of him, knock him out in the first round. And it's like, you don't knock out tough, good people out in the first round. You're lucky to knock them out in the fight. And most of the time they're going to end up making it to the end, but stop. The one thing I would say with Joe Pyfer, stop looking for the knockout. Just touch him. You hit like a truck. You don't need to go after the one shot. If you just put your hands on people, they're going to go down. They're going to end up being hurt, and you can finish them. Just touch people.
Who does he remind you of?
Pyfer? Truthfully, a guy, Drew McFedries. I don't know if you remember Drew.
I do, yeah.
Drew McFedries hit like a truck. Now, he had terrible wrestling. And so people would take him down and win. I think Joe Pyfer's got much better wrestling than Drew McFedries, but he definitely reminds me in the body style, the power. He hurts people with every shot that he throws, and he's got fast hands, but he winds things up too much. Just stop with the wanting the knockout. It's going to come if you just throw your hands.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Gray Maynard.
Yeah. Okay.
Look wise, power wise, maybe not on the level of wrestling that Gray had.
No,
but it just, and then Gray just would get carried away with chasing the heavy shots, kind of get a little bit tired.
Gray did not fight smart.
No, but Gray had big power.
Oh, he got big power, and he's a great wrestler.
I fucking hated getting hit by that guy with 16-ounce gloves. It was horrible.
The bully, man. That's why they called him the bully.
That name was fucking well deserved.
Oh, yes.
He was so nasty. Even in the gym, I was like, God, get away from me. Javier would be like, you and Gray. I'm like, fuck. I would just look down on the ground and be like, damn it. This is fucking going to be painful. Kelvin Gastelum, did you score the first round 10-8?
I honestly don't remember thinking a 10-8 at the time, so no.
Because he got dropped twice in the first, and he also got head kicked in the first.
Yeah, boy, that
There was-
I'll tell you what, the fact that he was able to stand up.
I know.
Because normally that hits you like that. That's a definite put you down.
You don't have to get kicked hard in the head.
No.
It's anyway, like you don't need much. Just got to get there fast and hit. But there was like 2.5 minutes in the middle between each knockdown. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
On either side. So that's why I was leaning towards 10-8, but I was like, there was just so much downtime between the two knockdowns. So that's why it would have been like a knockdown, like a lot of ground and pound. And he got up and they fought a little bit more. And then he knocked down again. I probably would have given 10-8, but I didn't see that. John, Kevin Holland's back.
Dude, he looked good. Yeah, you called it on that one. You believed in him, and I thought that, I don't trust his fight IQ. But man, he looked good, and he was moving well. He was fighting smart. A little too much talk.
Mm-hmm.
And when the reason I say that is that's the kind of thing that I think takes you out of, at times, being that intelligent fighter, because you get so busy talking, you stop fighting.
Yeah.
And so it did worry me a little bit, but you know what? He looked great. I thought the anaconda that he threw on was beautiful. He trapped the leg well. I mean, he just looked good. And I loved the fact that he said, I'm going to stay at 170. That's where he needs to be.
Yeah.
That's where I do believe he has the talent to go and possibly challenge to be, in a championship fight. If he goes to 185, that ain't happening.
No chance.
Yeah. So good on him for figuring it out and saying, this is where I need to be and let me go after people. And I loved the call out. I thought the call out was great.
He'll never get that fight.
Why not?
Because Colby won't fight him.
I'd give it to him right now. Well,
I know. That's a UFC decision, but I mean, I just don't see it happening. I don't think Colby would take it. He'd be like, nah, I want a bigger name. I want this. Like, bro, you fought one time in 3 years. Like, or
exactly.
2 times in 3 years, whatever it is. And you lost. Anyways.
Well, right now, where's Colby? Somewhere around 9 or 10?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Kevin Hall looked good. He's back. I'm glad that he's back. We need this shot in the arm for this weight class to add in with the Buckley and everything else. So I think this is a fantastic. This group is now starting to kind of. Someone said this the other day in the chat session. They're like, I think welterweights are the most stacked division. I said the bantamweights are still that, but it's because it's the new shiny toys.
Yeah,
all the new shiny toys at welterweight right now. You've got Buckley coming in. You've got Kevin Holland's back. You've got Shavkat there undefeated.
Sean Brady looking good. Bilal losing the title and JDM winning. Like it's all new. It's all new. So that's what makes these weight classes so exciting. You have new talent that's making the rise. Yeah.
So I thought it was a great performance by Kevin Holland. Joshua Van versus Bruno Silva.
You talk about a performance. Again, I'm going to go the same thing with Bruno Silva. Dude, tough ass fight. You gave it everything you had. You took some big shots. You took a beating, and you kept getting up and coming after it. And it was funny because as I was talking with my friend who was watching with me, and I said, look at how much energy you're seeing Bruno Silva use right now, based upon the fact he's getting hit and he doesn't know how to stop it. And so he's getting hyper with all of his movement and stuff. And I said, it's going to end up catching up to him. He's going to just continue to get hit. And I'll tell you what, he lasted longer than I thought he was going to, because he went all the way to, close to the end of the third round. It was a minute left. But I mean, beautiful performance by Joshua Van. That kid is fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he controls well. He doesn't get crazy. And man, he's got a gas tank. He's able to put it on people and continue to go. He's looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his loss, to Charles Johnson.
Yeah.
And then he lost a long time ago back into Devin Jackson or something like that. But Charles Johnson, I remember watching that fight. Just got clipped.
Yep.
Got caught, But he popped off a couple wins. Cody Durden, Ray, how do you say his last name? And then Bruno Silva. People like him. He's aggressive, fights hard, comes forward, good cardio, can fight the pace, and it's nice to have. He's developed a following. People enjoy watching him fight. I think he's going to continue to have success, man. If the UFC likes him because he's doing what he's doing, can't argue it, man. I love it. I love seeing young talent get the exposure they deserve. So good for him, man. Good for him.
Yep.
Next fight, John.
Come on, baby. Say it. Talk to me.
Okay.
Azamat. Come on. What is it?
Azamat Murzakanov.
There you go.
That's close enough, right?
Murzakanov, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Is it Brenson?
Yeah.
Brenson. Ribeiro.
Ribeiro. I had told you about Azamat. I said, this guy doesn't look like a whole lot. Man, he hits like a truck. And there's a reason why he's undefeated. And there's a reason why he's undefeated. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, you got the kind of like.
He got the dad bod, dude.
Yeah.
He's just.
He might be a little bit worse than a dad bod.
He does not look like, he belongs anywhere. He's a regional looking fighter. But man, I'll tell you what, he fights and he hurts people. He's got power. And it happens every time, it seems like, man. He puts people out. So I'll watch him. He's fun.
Yeah. I mean, where does he go from here?
That's a good question. Yeah, you got to start really jumping it up. And, the real question is his frame for the weight class.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that big.
Yeah.
And so where do you put him? It's the question of, man, do you really step him up with some of those guys that are in that light heavyweight division? Because, man, he's fun to watch. But, everybody, he's 5-0, 4-0, 5-0 in the UFC now. And you could take a look. He's had a couple of them where, Alonzo Minifield, that was a big win. I thought that was, one. I know they had him lined up with Khalil Roundtree. I would like to see that fight. I think Khalil Roundtree and him, they tried to put it together before. Put it together now. I'm not too sure Khalil will do it now, but I think it would actually be a fun fight.
What about Blachowicz?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Khalil right now is a little bit more dangerous than Blachowicz.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so I would go Blachowicz. If you want to do something with him, Blachowicz being 41.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with that. Let me ask you this. The Spivak and Cortes-Acosta, how did you have the fight scored? Let's just talk about the elephant in the room.
I had Spivak winning the fight.
So did I.
Okay.
I was like, what fucking fight was that? Was I watching? Did I miss something? Because
No.
my daughter was asking me for something. My son was like, hey, this and that. We were still kind of getting settled in. We just got back from lacrosse. And I was like, guys, I'm trying to watch the fights. Come on. Like, just chaos in my house. You got two kids that are hungry. Can I do this? Can I do that? I'm like, damn. I was like, did I miss that much of the fight? I was like, because every time I saw Spivak landing the better shots.
Yep.
I was like, why is he wrestling? Why is he not wrestling? Why is he not wrestling? I was like, oh, maybe I missed it. Like, can you get dropped or something like that?
How the hell did someone not get, first off, all of them, I think all of them, no, not two of them gave him the third round, Spivak. Okay. There's no doubt he won the third round.
Yeah.
Okay. The one guy didn't give it to him. I don't know how you don't give him the first round.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, he hurt him. All right. He put him, he landed the better shots throughout the round. Cortez ended up, he would hit him with some jabs and stuff, but nothing that was like, wow, that was a great shot.
Yeah.
Okay. And nothing, that you looked and said, wow, that was damage. I didn't see it. They saw it. So I'll give them, okay. But I actually thought Spivak won the fight.
Yeah, I was lost.
I was shocked. I was shocked when they fucking called out.
Especially when I saw the 30-27. I was like, that's not the fight.
Well, as soon as they said 30-27, I went, okay, it's Spivak.
Yeah.
Wow. Waldo Acosta-Cortez. I was like, what?
Well, John, the guy who looked the most impressive tonight, I mean, outside of, Merab, was Andres Gustafsson. This guy, he's got a gas tank. He said, I'm the most least technical person in the UFC.
Yeah.
But damn.
Don't tell that to Chaos Williams, man.
No. But I mean, John, like you've got that's the way you have to fight Chaos Williams.
Yeah.
That's how you have to fight him. Like he fought like how Merab had to fight, Sean O'Malley, and how Merab's had to fight other guys. He fought a very just come forward, never let you breathe. A very much like RDR.
Yeah.
You have to fight that way.
But man, I'll tell you what, the thing that surprised me is a lot of his shots, because he would just start stepping forward.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them landed. And you're looking, you're going, oh fuck. He's doing well just in the stand-up coming forward because Chaos can't get anything off because he's worried about the takedown, and he's getting hit.
Well, guys like Chaos also, they load up a lot when they throw their shot.
Yeah.
So they don't know what to do. When you're putting so much pressure, do I load up and try and land? But then when I load up, you've already squished that space and I don't land clean. So there's that. And then do I load up? And if I don't load up, then I'm getting taken down. I got to defend the takedown or protect my face, whatever it is. It was just a bad night. Chaos was stuck. The pressure, and then by the middle of the second round, fight was over. Because Andres was just putting so much pressure. The elbows, the clinch, the grind, the hang. He was doing it all.
I think that's two in a row though for Chaos.
Yeah,
so
and Gustafsson coming in. This is his debut, but like someone like him, like where do you see him in the welterweight division? That's another great addition. Great addition to the weight class.
It is. Yeah, you look and you go, man.
You give him a top 15 yet, or no? You say, hey, let's wait a little bit.
I wait a little bit. Let me give him another below.
Even Keto George is over there shaking his head.
Shaking his head, no.
He's like, nah.
Don't do that to him. What are you doing?
And then John, the Cong Wang fight versus Ariana Lipski de Silva.
I thought Lipski de Silva, first off, didn't make weight by a lot. So I give Cong Wang a lot of credit for taking the fight. That says something about her. I thought she ate up that calf of De Silva. When De Silva went down, I was like, step back, make her get up. But
I had friends that lost money.
Oh yeah,
because she's fucking just kept kicking her when she was like down or wouldn't step back and let her up. They had bet on her to finish.
Well, you look and you go, if you're gonna get in a stand-up battle with Wang, you got your hands full. You got to get her down. We saw in her one loss, that was what occurred. She was repeatedly taken down, and she had a hard time on the ground. I'm not saying that she's not getting better there and everything, but it was Fernandez was able to take her down and then choke her and stuff. So you look and you go, where her weakness is at. Why are you trying to stand up? Because everybody else that tries to stand with her ends up losing.
Yeah, John, the knockout of the night goes to Joo-sang. Knockout of the night. Now, let me go back. Let me preface this by saying this. Landing a knockout like that, extremely difficult when you're going forward. Doing it as you fade backwards and still having the power as you go backwards, that reminds me a little bit of Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, very much.
Just Chuck had power, forward, backwards,
well, Chuck threw that same kind of shot all the time, going backwards and connected. So, yeah, you're right. It's a perfect person to equate it with.
Yeah, I mean, the angle they got, the camera angle, there's a couple different weird camera angles tonight that just didn't work. The Kayla Harrison up kick thing, like you couldn't see if the knees were on the ground. They didn't show the replay in any other direction. They only showed the one from over the top.
Well, what cracks me up is they're using this camera that's up in the top of the rafters to come down. You got freaking 8 other cameras.
At least. Yeah, I don't get it. Can I get different angles? And then in this fight, the ref was in the way, which they always are, and they always have the biggest fucking refs, Beltran, Murzakanov, fucking Goddard.
You'll notice Murzakanov was not working there, even though it's New Jersey.
No, I'm just simply saying that there's always big refs just fucking standing in the way, like your big ass too. They're always blocking the view of the cameras. It's funny because people don't realize this at home. The camera angle. The ref's best angle for the fight is always where the camera wants to be.
Sure.
So when we were working for Bellator, we're like, oh man, I got this great spot on we're watching the monitor or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden the fucking ref comes into the picture. You're like, move your fucking ass. Jeez. Just fucking Big John's backside.
Oh, dude, the
ass crack showing.
the director for the UFC used to go, "Will you get out of my camera thing?" I said, "No."
That's my best.
I go, "Why do you want to use that camera?" He goes, "Because it's my best view." I said, "Guess what?
It's my best view." That's exactly what it is. I always used to get super frustrated when we were watching on the monitor. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of the way.
If I knew that I could move somewhere and the camera could get in there, I would do it for him. But most of the time, it's like I don't. No. I always did it for judges.
Stubborn old man.
Always tried to get out of the line if I knew a judge was there, and I could move a little bit so they could get a better view. I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to know exactly where the cameramen are because they move.
Yeah,
they're on the post and all of a sudden they're down on the thing. So
well, they're down on the canvas there because you're fucking in the way.
Well, thank you.
Hey guys, that's gonna wrap up our UFC talk. We've got some news to talk about as well. But overall, rate the card. What'd you have it tonight?
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you. Overall, I actually thought the fights were really good. I thought there was the fights like the Joshua Van fight. I thought was great. I thought Mario Bautista put on a great performance against a really good fighter that people are going to enjoy watching in the UFC. I thought the comeback as far as the Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer, as far as just the comeback of the third round, and Gastelum was stuck in there and just showed how gritty and tough he is. Love that. And then Kayla Harrison with her submission, and then the performance by Merab. I'm going to tell you 9.5.
Ooh,
I liked it.
So funny because I asked a bunch of people right after the card ended. Most of them had it 7.5.
Wow.
And I had a couple 8s, but most of them had it 7.5. I would say probably 30 to 40 people had it 7.5. I was very shocked. Yeah, I had it at 8.5.
Okay.
There were some fights that were good, but it was like, they weren't,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed the Kayla Harrison, Juliana Peña fight. I enjoyed the main event for sure. Pyfer and Gastelum, I expected it to be a little bit better, to be honest. I expected someone to get finished, or I expected Kelvin Gastelum to kind of take over a little bit earlier.
Come on. I mean, I think when you're looking at that fight, you're not giving Pyfer the credit that he deserves as far as the power he has, and you're definitely not giving Kelvin Gastelum the credit for the toughness he has for withstanding some of those shots and getting his ass back on his feet.
No, I agree. But I wish he would have started off what he did in the third round and round halfway through the second.
I don't think he could have.
Yeah, he could have. I got to give tons of credit to Mario Bautista.
Man,
he fought a fantastic fight. Very smart.
Absolutely.
Very composed. Loved what he was doing when he's switching stances, making it very difficult for Patchy Mix, making him guess the whole time. Is he going to wrestle? Is he gonna throw the straight left? Is he gonna throw the straight right? He just fought a textbook fight. And like you said, coming from the Benson Henderson camp, the Lab, John Crouch, those guys, is very difficult when you have a fighter like Benson who has seen it all, done it all, fought the best guys. He's had to fight with world-class kickboxers / world-class grapplers. Like, he's really good wrestlers. He's fought everybody.
Yep.
So he's seen everything inside that cage, and he can actually translate it to somebody like Bautista, who's still very active as a in the gym. Henderson is.
Oh yeah.
So having all that available to him for sure. Kevin Holland, great performance. Got a little sloppy sometime in the first, but he only got sloppy when he backed away with his chin in the air. Like, he starts his combinations, and then if it's not going his way, or if it's starting to feel like it's not landing clean, he starts to back away or circle out with his chin in the air. And that scared me a little bit. But I also thought Vicente Luque was looking good on the feet. In that first part of it, he looked like he wasn't tired at all. He looked physically in good shape.
He got hurt.
Kevin Holland just caught him.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
In the stand-up, that one, he got stung bad.
Yeah. But then Kevin was able to latch it on real quick and get the finish. I liked what Kevin did too. When your body style is what it is, that tall, long, lanky body style, he slapped on that anaconda.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And what he did was he kind of rolled to his back a little bit and then tried to hook the body, like put him into guard. But then he lets it go. He just rolls him over so he can gather a leg. Because when I roll over my back and you come on top, I'm guaranteed to catch your leg.
Yeah.
I try to pull you sideways and then try to catch your leg. You'll just push away on my hips. It's a great job. Absolutely a great job. And then Joshua Van, great performance. Murzakanov, great performance. Cortez, I thought lost.
Yeah.
Spivak, and then Gustafsson, welcome to the UFC, my man. Great debut.
Yep.
And Wang, I mean,
Yep.
what else more you ask for, man? Great
That's it.
calf kicks, great job, and so forth and so on. Keto George, what do you got for us, my man?
All right. So first of all, I want to say prayers for Ben Askren. He is currently hospitalized in critical condition after developing pneumonia. He apparently is unresponsive. Prayers to Ben Askren. That has been on the news feed today throughout the day. There's not a lot of details on it, so I don't know.
From what I understand, he had a staph infection, and then the staph infection led to pneumonia.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting confused here. What?
Ben Askren, the guy from Bellator, to
Please stop. Did he have an accident, or did he just get sick?
He got
sick.
Okay.
Yeah, he had staph. From what I understand, it attacked obviously the immune system, and they went in to get it treated. And when it was basically turned into pneumonia.
Okay.
So from what I understand, so he's in critical condition. He's in the hospital. His wife, I guess, apparently put out a tweet. I haven't seen it yet. But she said just asking for prayers for my husband, this and that. So, yep. That's rough, man.
That sucks.
You got to take care of, if you see any mark on your body, you see any like pimple on your body, if you're training, whatever it is, you've got to take care of it. Get it treated right away. Like it can happen fast, man. It can happen
It's
real
not
fast.
a spider bite.
No.
If you didn't smash the spider on your body, it's not a spider bite.
Well, I was trying to tell, Josh Koscheck was, before he could really get any fights, he had fought like twice in some tournament in Reno. Then Trevor Prangley was putting on a fight up in Idaho. We left San Jose to drive up to Idaho. He was going to fight like 2 days later. By the time we got there, he had a little tiny pimple on the back of his hamstring. We drove 15 hours. By the time we got there, I had to rush him to emergency.
Yeah.
That's how fast it happens.
Oh, yeah.
So, man.
What people don't realize, you'll have that and you'll look and you'll tell someone, hey, give me a Sharpie. And you'll circle this little red thing. And you're circling it because you're trying to show them, look, in 2 hours, take a look at that. And it's going to be way past the limits of that Sharpie mark. And you're going to, dude, you got staph, you got MSR.
Mm-hmm.
MSR, it's MRSA is not something to take lightly.
No,
it's trouble.
No, I had a buddy who had in high school. He almost lost his foot.
Oh yeah,
he was a high school kid, really good soccer player, and his ankle started swelling a little bit. All of a sudden, but literally, they took him into the doctor. Doctor took him in the next morning. His mom took him in the next morning. Doctor said, "Luckily, you brought him in. We would have had to amputate." So infected, they had to basically fucking get him on antibiotics right away, pump him full of IVs, everything, man. Just crazy. Yep. Crazy. You almost lost his foot. And being a soccer player, you lose your fucking foot. Is that why they call it footy? Oh, sorry. All right, what else you got for us, Keto?
All right, so rumors have been circulating of a possible reunion between the UFC and Francis Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
John Jones tweeted out, "I'm hearing Francis Ngannou is still interested. Now we're talking. That's a real super fight. A clash of champions, not just hype. He held the UFC belt. I've defended mine for over a decade. Two kings from different roads, not just one legend facing a mouth that's hot right now, but two real legacies colliding. That's the kind of fight that actually adds something special to my story, at least from my point of view." After that, Francis responded to that by saying, "You take care of the UFC. I'll take care of the PFL, and we'll finally find out who the king of the heavyweights is." So what do you think? Is this just talk, or is there a little bit of smoke to the fire?
Just talk. It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, the only way it wouldn't be a waste of time is like I was talking about earlier, is if there's a trade. Like the PFL can't afford Francis anymore. I'm not going to pay you. It's not working out. Like, who are we going to have you fight?
That's the real question.
Nemkov. That's the only guy. There's nobody else for you to fight. So move on. Go fight John. Go back and fight John. Make your 8 million or whatever it is, maybe even more than that now, 10, to fight John Jones. I don't know, whatever it is, but they need something. The UFC needs it. PFL could use a couple other fighters, to add to their tournaments, that fighters that would not potentially ever make $500,000. So bring them over, make the trade, whatever it is. There's already talk of Dakota Cheva being traded over to the UFC for somebody, and then whoever that somebody was became.
I knew who that somebody was. I can't say.
And they became champion.
Yeah,
and they couldn't get rid of him. So.
Hey,
that's the best way not to get traded, to become a champion.
But you got to look now, and it's like, if the UFC was in that position of thinking about it, now they're going, thank God we didn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, obviously they would like to have Dakota Cheva.
Oh, of course.
And they'll find another way to potentially get her, or she'll just eventually come over on her own. Yeah. They don't have anyone for her to fight.
That's one of the biggest problems.
Yeah. But I mean, with Francis, you could definitely send him off. Why am I going to pay him $4 million or whatever it is, plus pay his opponent $2 million?
$2 million.
So that's $6 million fight. And you guys are not getting the views right now. There's no love right now. It's like, what's the point? You're really just hemorrhaging money.
But you got to I'll give them credit for this. Don Davis came out saying, hey, we're going to, the whole thing about ticket prices are too much. We're going to have $25 tickets. That's great. Because, if it allows someone to be able to go to a live show and see, a good show, awesome. Okay. But it's one of those things that, how did you think that going to a sound studio in Orlando, Florida, didn't you see that everyone was saying that they hate the Apex?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you copying that? You should be going to smaller cities. There's how many in the United States that don't have professional sports teams, don't have major colleges. That's where you want to bring your shows, because people will come. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the UFC they've lost the fan base because they don't go to the small towns. The Apex took over, and there was a smart reason why the Apex took over. It's obviously because of COVID to begin with. But then the ESPN struck the deal like, hey, as long as you hit this many views, whatever it is, we'll pay you. Or we'll pay you for whatever it is, and this is how much we'll give you. And then if you break 500,000 views, then we'll pay you half, or you get half and I get half. Mm-hmm. That's a sweetheart deal. But then now that they're getting away from that deal, then you got to start getting out there so the casual fan can watch. The problem they're going to run into is that the UFC prices are fucking ridiculous.
That's the whole thing.
I had a buddy who went to the Sphere, and I know that was a one-off. It was
that one.
No, John. Nosebleed seats were close to $6,000. I know that they started off, they were like, $3,000 for like this and that, but as you got closer, if you didn't buy them when they first launched, they were towards the end, they were even more expensive. Except for the last week, they started lowering them because they didn't sell them all out. So, I mean, I'm just saying now, you've lost your fan base a little bit, the UFC has. Now you got to go out there, and now they're going to have to lower their ticket prices because people in Omaha, people in Kansas and different parts of, in different types of the country are not going to be able to afford those prices, man. They're used to getting pay-per-view prices.
But at least, the PFL, they got $25 fucking prices on their tickets.
Yeah.
Those people can. And that's exactly the kind of places that the PFL should be going. Go to the Kansas Star, in Wichita, Kansas. Go to Omaha. Don't go to, they're going to go to Nashville. Nashville's a bigger town. Why are you going to that? Go to a smaller one. But I just look and go, it's the right way. If you want to bring fans and put butts in the seats so people see your product and they have a good time and it's not going to cost them an arm and a leg, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, they'll go to Austin. I would like them to come to Dallas.
Austin, be all right.
Yeah, Austin. No, they've been to Austin a couple times lately. Joe's there. Joe's there. It's like Celebrity Row now that Joe lives in Austin.
Oh, I know.
I ran into Tim Kennedy the other day. Our kids played against each other, and he was they may play again against each other tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see. We haven't seen the breakout yet on the tournament side. Anyways, next one.
All right. So
I think it's all talk to answer your question, though, George. I don't think it's gonna happen.
no, I'll keep dreaming. But so
Like the same thing with the Tom Aspinall fight. Keep dreaming.
oh yeah. So Juliana Peña was on a podcast, and she said before she was a professional, when she was still training MMA, she challenged a 6'3" male line cook to a fist fight that she lost. I'll just play the audio for you.
My stupidity thinking that I could beat a man. I went into the back alley while I was serving, and I fought the line cook, going at each other for a long time. A long story. He dropped me 3 times. I got dropped. I popped right back up. I went at him again. He dropped me again. I had my eye swollen shut for 3 days and 11 stitches in my eye. I thought that I could fight a man. I don't have any ego to be like, I could beat a man. Learned my lesson. I don't want anything to do with fighting dudes. I actually was in.
I think you guys get the drift. But yeah, what is your opinions? What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, I'm gonna get fucking raked over the coals.
Fuck him, John. Say it. Say what we're all fucking thinking.
Well, the truth is, Hollywood does a lot of things for people in believing that women can, they can take on a man and fight a man. No. Okay. Even someone, if a professional, mixed martial artist in the female category, if they take on someone that doesn't know how to fight, they can do well. Okay. But if they take on someone that knows how to fight, they're going to have fucking problems. Okay. This is why we don't have women fighting men. It's not a good outcome for anybody. So the fact that she decided to fight him, good for you, Juliana. And I'm glad you decided that was a bad idea. 11 stitches, it was definitely a bad idea. I'm sorry you had to suffer
Eyes falling
that.
shut.
I'm sorry you had to suffer that. But, I've seen it too. I don't mean to say that I'm no one special. I've seen it too many times. Okay. And we have had, instances where we have a woman who is a trained professional fighter take on someone that doesn't, train in fighting, and they can do well because, they have the ability to use those techniques and talents that someone has, worked with them on, and they can land shots. And if you land shots against someone that's not used to being hit, it starts to affect them. When you land shots on someone that's used to having shots landed on them at times, and it doesn't affect them, you got real problems when you don't have the power to put them out.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's weight. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Certain fighters like Geronimi, she fought a male.
Yeah.
Yep. She was able to knock him out.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, there's moments where there's certain fighters that they have certain skill levels, but they're not fighting someone who's on anywhere near the same skill level. They have a little bit of mitt work, a little bit of bag work, whatever it is. That's not that. But to say that can be done by everyone, no. I don't even want to say it's Hollywood, just overall. And this is no disrespect to females. We should never be having these comparisons whatsoever between male and female. No. There's a reason why God created females, and there's a reason why God created men. Okay. If anything, that's why there's 2 separate ones. Okay?
2 separate ones.
It's 2 separate genders. Is like there should not. They're meant to be opposite. One helps the other, and the other one helps the other. Like we help each other.
You would hope.
That's the way. Yeah. And I hate seeing men in women's sports.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started.
And I hate seeing female athletes condone it.
That just happened, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and it's disgusting.
My God.
Because if I took any of the athletes from the U.S. Olympic team, you would lose every single time. And if I took any male basketball player and I put you in the female basketball league, they would. Dave Chappelle does a bit about this. LeBron James would score 847 fucking points
in one game.
A game against you. Like, what are we having this conversation about? Why are you saying that it's okay for males to compete in female sports?
It's not.
It's not.
Why do we have female sports?
Yeah,
Why?
if it was okay, why do we even have it? Why do we even have it? Just call it all just sport.
That's it.
Just sport.
We have female sports for a reason, to give them a level playing field to compete on, because it's not fair for them to compete against men. But we're going to put a man in against them because that man says I'm a woman.
You know where I do support this, though, where I support men and women doing this. The Olympics now just has this. It's like a co-ed, like a relay. It's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, but hold that. That's
I get it.
Okay,
they compete against men. They're like, you can line up a female against a male.
You can line them up, but there's two women and there's two men.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
and it all kind of evens itself out.
That's
like,
the whole point.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun to see it. Like if you had in gymnastics, you had like males compete against females.
But as you're talking about that relay race, which I think is kind of cool, you have seen women racing at the same time that the men are, and you see what,
John?
There was
one, the girl from Poland.
Yes,
she had
exactly which one.
She had almost a half a track, not a half track,
a quarter track, a quarter of the track lead.
Almost a little more than a quarter of a track.
And he beat her by how much?
He beat her by a lot. And it wasn't just one.
He ran her down.
Yeah, it was two or
like
three.
She was standing still.
Yeah, it was two or three people beat her.
And that's,
she was in first.
How is that, if it was just him against her, how is that fair?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. No, I know.
And here's the one thing. Riley Gaines is the one that has come out and done all this stuff. And, Simone Biles did her whole thing talking about, and she said, just because you got beat by a man, let's be honest. Riley Gaines did not get beat by Leah Thomas. She didn't get beat. She tied. She tied a man. You got to give her credit for being that fucking good that he couldn't beat her. But they gave him the trophy because he was the transgender, and it was what they thought was good at the time in the NC2As. She didn't lose.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
They had the exact same time.
John, it still doesn't change the fact that I fucking hate that we're even having this discussion about how men are competing against females in sports. Because why do we have female sports then at all? Let's just have them compete against the men. Just everyone. If you make the team, you make the team. Okay, and then let's just see. I want to see fucking LeBron James dunk on your ass. Like, let's just see it.
How many times? Never. I'm done.
Yeah.
I got some good news, ladies and gentlemen.
Our podcast, Weighing In, was the first podcast to ever partner with OnlyFans.
Bringing you guys the best content we possibly can in the combat sports industry. We are making some leeway on bringing sports to the OnlyFans platform,
where top-tier, world-class athletes can connect with their fans. We're talking about combat sports athletes like Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Chris Cyborg,
Luke Rockhold,
AJ McKee.
You've also got pro surfers like Billy Kemper. Some chilling news.
I want you to head on over to the Weighing In OnlyFans channel.
More connection with our fans on our OnlyFans channel.
Only available on OnlyFans.
All right. You just had to bring that up. Keto George over there with the smirk on his face.
Happy Pride FC month. Happy Pride FC month.
I got you.
All right. So the last news article I want to go with, you were pretty excited to talk about this.
Laura Senko.
Laura Senko
would be excited to talk about Laura Senko. Get the fuck out of here.
Laura Senko discusses the weirdest things she has received in her DMs. I'll play the audio.
I don't even want to know.
John, it's fucking great, John.
I'll play the audio.
What is the weirdest DM you've ever received? Oh, God. got to be a lot.
There's a lot. A lot of like really weird sadistic / masochistic desires of people, like a lot of ball stomping.
Oh,
Photo requests, but it's really the
ball
stomping
stomping.
testes.
Oh.
That's a recurring. I have filters on. It's a lot less than it used to be. The filters really do work.
Yeah, so I just want to say sorry, Laura, for DMing you so much.
Fucking George.
No, I want to know what is
All I wanted you to do is a tap dance on my testicles.
No, Laura's great. She's a good lady. I've met her before.
Laura is a sweetheart.
But
She puts up with a lot of shit.
oh, I believe it. And she's so professional too. When I met her, because she did Thick Boy, the food truck diary.
Yeah.
She was the only person to come with her own mirror to do makeup, to get ready. She was ready for it. She was awesome, a nice lady. But what is the weirdest thing?
She's a farmer.
Oh yeah, farmer. What is the weirdest things you guys have ever received in your DMs, or just requests in general? I want to know.
I literally had, you could tell the guy, I actually looked at his profile to see if he was just trolling me or not. He's gay, but he asked me for a picture of my butthole. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my God, really? What? Like who does this? John, this is before OnlyFans. He's like, no, he literally said, I'd
have gone to my dog, taken a picture of his butthole and sent it to him.
There it is.
There it is.
Like that. No, this was before OnlyFans existed, man. This was like back in like 2000. He's like, I'll pay you for a picture. I just want to see. And I was like, I was like, block. Like, but I looked at because back then this is like trolling kind of started coming around a little bit, and it just was, yeah, man. That was. What about you, John? What's the weirdest thing for you?
I don't read DMs, so I have no idea.
You don't really?
No, dude, I don't read comments and I don't read DMs.
You gotta have Miss McCarthy. Come on here, because I know she fucking reads them.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, we got. What about you, Keto?
Oh man, listen, I'm a young man on the internet. I get a lot of crazy shit.
Your fucking algorithm's fucked up, huh?
If you guys would probably judge me 10 times more.
Oh,
if
there's
you guys
no doubt.
Saw my algorithm. Okay,
I'd for sure judge you. Yeah, I for sure would judge you. Absolutely.
I can't think
his
of
name would go from Keto George to Kinky George.
Kinky George.
That's my alter ego now.
All right.
But no, I can't think of one for me, but I know a pretty prominent comedian friend, not any that I've worked for before, but I know a pretty prominent comedian friend that has a homosexual fan that often just sends them a lot of money. And with nothing in return, it's a very weird relationship, or at least that's what they say.
But how do they get the money? How did the person get their?
Well, they had to interact back a little bit, They had a message back. You don't just find it out there.
Yeah,
but, it's a really good fan. Apparently, they go to a lot of shows, sit front row pretty often. Fun guy, fun time.
This brings me to the Theo Vaughn question. Theo Vaughn was on Joe Rogan and he goes, do you ever find yourself like sitting there and if like kind of engaging and flirting with a gay person to see if they flirt back? He's like, you just want to see, do I still got it?
No, I don't.
It doesn't make you feel special, John?
It doesn't make me feel special. I have
like
no problem if someone's gay.
You started flirting with you a little bit.
Definitely not going to be flirting with them.
Do you like kind of like lead them on a little bit to see if you still got it? Like Theo killed me on the Rogan. Like it was fucking awesome, John.
Dude, he had the one line that he was talking about being poor, and that he has all of his friends are black friends, and then they were saying, "Man, you've been taking advantage of this whole time." He's talking about white privilege.
Yeah.
He goes, "Man, he says, you think I took your stuff and I just don't have it?
Yeah.
Are we gonna share these plums or what?"
The best part is like, yeah, I took all your stuff and then I just moved next door. Like, what the fuck? Oh, it was great. Are we gonna split these plums or not?
Split these plums or not?
Dude, Theo has been on fire lately. He's been killing it. Love watching his stuff, man. And then there's those new AI like babies.
Oh my God.
They're using Theo for a lot of them.
Dude, his are funny as hell.
They're so funny. Because you can see a baby really talk like that. And then when they have the one with Rogan, you got Rogan with the bald head and the arm tattoo on a baby. It's just hilarious. It's just so fucking funny, man. We're having a great time. All right, guys. Hey, I want to wrap this up, and I want to let you guys know it was a great pay-per-view. I gave it an 8.5, somewhere around an 8.5. I think, John, what did you give it? You give it a 9.5. 9.5. There you go.
I enjoyed it.
Some of the fans that I talked to earlier gave it a 7, 7.5. One or two gave it an 8,
Man,
but I gave it an 8.5, somewhere in there. Good night of fights. We have a new champion in the female division, Kayla Harrison, and we have the hashtag and still Marav. Yeah, good job for him. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce his last name. I'll fuck it up, even though he's been champion for a while.
Dvalishvili.
There you go. I got it. Got it. All right, guys, that's a wrap. And John, take us away, buddy.
For everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed the UFC. I hope you enjoyed our show, and we will see you.